Rockinitis. Hi, cats and kittens. Welcome to Rockinitis. My name is Michael Willmore, and this show is about various aspects of rock and roll, and we often delve into rock and roll history, current and from bygone eras, all different kinds of rock and roll from various stages of the development of it. Right now we have a new emerging artist, a lady who does individual projects, and her name is Sally Dige. Dia, okay.
That's okay.
I'm not really quite sure of the pronunciation. Now you have, your heritage is actually, like you're born in Canada.
Yes.
And your heritage is actually Danish, like your family?
Yeah, my father's Danish, and my mom's heritage is like Dutch and German and
okay,
hodgepodge. But yeah, that is my name, if you're wondering, because you've got it spelled out there. Sally Dige Jørgensen is Danish.
Now, I was saying to you before, like Canadians are going to have a hard time enunciating or pronouncing your stage name because it's D-I-G-E.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Canadians would pronounce that as Dige.
Yeah, I've also heard deluge. I don't know where the L came in, but someone said deluge.
But actually, how is it pronounced?
Yeah, it's Dia.
Dia.
Yeah,
okay.
Dia.
Now, you dropped your last name of Jørgensen?
Right. I did for my solo music because I played in the band, as you know, Petroleum Byproduct,
yes,
which you have the fabulous first record.
Oh, this is a good album.
And I just call myself Sally Jørgensen, and that's also like my resume name and stuff like that. And so I thought, well, you know, it'd be kind of nice to just take off the last name, and I'll just use Sally Dige, and then I have a clean slate. And also, it just seemed like every time I would type in Sally Jørgensen, it was a lot of extreme religious Bible thumpers, and I thought it would be nice. They'll have Sally Jørgensen, and I'll just.
I knew a guy a long time ago, and he had the name Les Vogt.
Yeah.
Now his name is actually spelled V-O-G-T.
Yeah.
He had to change it eventually because Canadians were always pronouncing it as Voget.
Oh.
Like Canadians are not that worldly.
Oh.
So when we see something written down, we kind of pronounce it the way it appears.
Yeah.
So I can see people would mispronounce your name.
Yeah.
So you have to kind of give them a course.
Yeah, of course. Definitely. I knew that it was going to be not the most obvious name, but I thought, what the heck, I'll just try it, and you know, we'll see what happens. I'm still experimenting as I go along.
Anyway, you and I are actually a lot alike. We both went to art school. We both majored in design. We're both very creative. And we're both good looking.
Oh, yes.
and we're both night owls.
Yeah, I know. So I write you at like in the AM and you'll write back.
Yeah, I mean, I get an email from you at like 3 in the morning.
And you'll respond.
And I respond within like 2 minutes.
Exactly.
So, and we're both loners, I think. I mean, I'm an only child, but you actually have brothers and sisters, but you're kind of like a loner in a way.
Well, I think it's kind of genetics. My brother is kind of a loner, and so is my grandfather is an extreme loner. He's like the stem of the loner family, and we're all just kind of to ourselves people, I guess.
Anyway,
maybe it just seems too extreme to some people looking
now, a lot of like quality about us. I mean, obviously you're young and I'm old, but nonetheless, I feel a kinship with you, basically because we are so similar. I mean, we are so creative, and I can kind of relate to that because I'm kind of arty, and so are you.
Yeah.
Anyway, I remember once at the very last gig that you did with Petroleum Byproduct, you were very nervous. Now I get nervous too.
Yes, I'm always nervous. I don't want to say always nervous because then people are going to assume I'm always nervous.
Well, when you tell them you're nervous, you're nervous, they look for it.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say.
Then they can say, "Oh yeah, you are nervous."
Yeah, you can tell.
But
yeah.
I mean, we are kind of nervous because performing is kind of hard on the nerves.
Yeah.
I mean, even the greatest of the greatest got nervous.
Yeah.
I mean, Elvis, he drank like 3 milkshakes in a row once. He was so nervous.
Yeah.
And then he got on stage, and after like 15 minutes, he suddenly left the stage, and the band kept playing riffs. I said, "Where's he gone? Where's he going?" Anyway, he finally came back after like 11 minutes and says, "I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, but when you got to go, you got to go."
Yeah. Yeah, there's you know, I read an interview with one of my friends, and she talked about it. It's like how I feel too, like how she has to kind of look up into the lights when she performs because she never had the kind of guts to look into people's eyes, and she kind of envied people who could stare into people's eyes. But it was, you know, it's a bit nerve-wracking when you see people.
Well, you kind of wonder, like when it's so hard on you, why do we do it?
Yeah, I know, it is.
Why don't we just retire early?
Yeah, or just not perform, just not.
No, I know, it is hard on you, but when you see the finished result and you go, that actually looks pretty good.
Yeah.
And you're kind of actually proud of what came out of it.
Yeah.
So, anyway, I'm glad you're here.
Thank you, yeah.
Anyway, as a solo artist, you've altered your name somewhat, and you did a video. Now, this impresses the hell out of me, because you didn't have a clue how to go about it. You borrowed your grandmother's video camera, which is a Kodak, what is it?
It's the brand, Sony. It's like from the 90s. It's you know, the early, like the 90s kind of digital video
It's like
aids.
You know, a holiday family camera.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And it's, you know, you put the tapes in and stuff like that. It's
now, when you did the video, it was to illustrate your new song, or at least a recent song, and you basically set up the camera in the room with a television, and you did a video which is like comparable to anything on a professional level that I've seen on like MTV or whatever else.
Oh, well, thanks. Well, when people see my video, they say it looks very old, and so in that aspect, I think it doesn't look as MTV because it's not all shiny and
well, look at
polished.
Quality. I mean, the Rolling Stones or some group like that have got like obviously a budget of millions.
Yes.
And they put a lot of money into making the thing look like it got run over by a truck. Yeah. I mean, you see their new Rolling Stones video, and it's all grainy and kind of chewed up looking, and you think that's the quality they're going for. But they have such a huge budget, so they tried to make it look low budget on a high budget. Your video is low budget,
Yeah,
and it looks low budget, which is
yeah, exactly.
Which is like a quality that's hard to get.
It's honest.
Yeah, it's hard to get. Anyway, let's take a look at your first solo video.
Okay.
Shot in your bedroom.
Yeah.
On your mother's.
And my grandmother's.
On your grandmother's Kodak video camera.
Sony camera.
And it's called Immaculate Deception.
Yes.
Walks around in a garbage and she has away on the serious face. That cold distance life I've seen, and I swear sometimes she's not even real. She's just a little girl in a deluded flame. That's a shame. Don't be mistaken. Then that's a shame. It's gone far. Then that's a shame. Oh, don't be mistaken. She's never gonna break.
Actually, the name for Immaculate Deception was a name that my friend came up with, and she said, you know, it'd be really cool if we wrote a song Immaculate Deception. I was like, oh, sure, why not? This is, I don't know how much time we have to talk before.
No, go ahead.
Okay. This was just in the beginning of just thinking of songs to write, so I said, yeah, sure, why not? I mean, give me a title, I can write a song. And
Right.
so she thought of the title, but I think she kind of got the idea off of, the religious Immaculate.
Okay, this proves to me it doesn't matter, like you don't need a big budget. All you need is ideas. You have ideas, you take the ideas, you work with what you got, what's in front of you, and you can create great art such as this. Now, Sally, you actually have that very song, Immaculate Deception, released on a vinyl release now?
Yes, it's put out by the Greek label called Fabrika Records, and I can show you what it looks like, since I have it right here.
Okay.
This is a 7-inch, and it's...
Take the cellophane off it there.
Oh.
Will it fall apart if you do?
Yeah, it will fall.
Oh, will it? Because it's actually, if you have the cellophane, it'll look, may perhaps flare.
Oh, okay. No, but it stays. It's just 2 songs, Immaculate Deception and Doppelganger, which is the B side. And
Now, both songs were written by you?
Yeah. Just trying to think of what I can say, but the label Fabrika, they're also in a band called Cellophane, and they were also on a compilation tape with me that was released on a German label.
Okay.
So that's how they knew about my music. And
okay, now you're born here, you live here, and yet your focus seems to be moving or gravitating more towards Europe.
Yeah, that wasn't planned. Like, I didn't say I'm just going to focus it on Europe. I just thought I'll make some music and hopefully maybe one person will like it other than me. And I put, the first music video out, and I thought, oh no, what if it flops? What if people say you suck? You should just stick with the band that you can only sort of do. And but it's turned out that most of the people that actually liked it were from Europe. So that was just like, it just seems also that a lot of music that I listen to, a lot of electronic and kind of sounds are coming out of Europe more so than maybe Canada. Like whenever I put on the CBC, it's more folk, indie, Canadian music that comes off the radio, or garagey. So I think that maybe there's just maybe a more interest, so that's why I sort of got that bigger audience there.
Well, I think to be recognized internationally, like when you think of Europe, you think of, well, if they like it in Europe, it must be good, because like they're sophisticated, So
I don't know. I mean, I've seen a lot of hick towns in all parts of Europe. It's not all.
That's true.
That's people always say, oh, I think there's.
Now you made 2 videos for the songs. Now I think what's important is, as I said, you don't need a big budget.
Yes.
You just need ideas.
Yeah.
Now you're like spilling over with ideas. You're extremely arty.
Yes.
And so you think of things to do to illustrate the songs.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about, is selling the song. So you wrote this other song called Doppelganger. What does the term doppelganger mean?
Gosh. This is like being in debating class, it's like, define the key word to what you're proposing.
Well, I've told a couple of people about it, and they go, "What does doppelganger mean?"
I think
I've heard the name.
I think the direct translation was like a double walk, or when you we would always say, like, if you see someone who looks like someone, like, oh, it's Michael Willmore's doppelganger. I just saw him walk down the street. Like.
Well, I Googled myself once to see how many Michael Willmores there were.
Yeah.
And there was 11 other Michael Willmores in the U.S.
Wow. Is that a lot or a little?
That seems like a lot.
Oh, I would think that's...
Now, probably the middle name is different.
I would think that's kind of little, because Michael's a fairly common name.
Yeah, but Willmore's kind of an oddball name.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, there was my middle name is Thomas. So out of the 11 Michael Willmores, there's probably only one other with the middle name Thomas. Or maybe none other.
Yeah.
So anyway, a doppelganger to me is the spitting image of yourself in another life almost.
Yeah.
I mean, you run across somebody, from another country and another time that has the same name, and that's your doppelganger, right?
Well, I guess. I mean, Yeah, you could say that. And when I was writing the song, I was kind of thinking about it as a performer. I mean, it seems like we are always portraying different personalities as we perform, because maybe, you know, you can't be nervous on stage, so you have to be confident, you have to be this kind of maybe even persona, so it's almost like you're becoming your other doppelganger when you're, as I think.
Oh, wouldn't that be nice if we could like, you know, have a tendency of, you know, you and I both have a tendency to get nervous before performing. If we could send out somebody else to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Send out somebody else.
Speaking of that, my friend was telling me that Andy Warhol used to do that in the early days when he had to go to all these parties and he couldn't make them because they're all over scattered across the country. He would just send out people who kind of looked like him because, you know, it wasn't like there was television. Well, actually, well, yeah, there was, but like not so much today where you can definitely, you know what they look like and where they are. So he would just send out people that kind of look like him to attend these parties. So Andy Warhol's like attend.
A nice way to get it done without actually having to do it.
Yeah, you could be everywhere at the same time.
Anyway, once again, so you've created another video to go with the flip side of this single. And once again, this proves you don't need a big budget. You don't need anything other than ideas. So you can like go into your room, get your grandmother's movie camera out, set it up, and do something as great as this. Mm-hmm. This is the flip side of Sally Jørgensen's, or Sally Diva, new single.
Thank you.
Okay, beam the vibes at the control room.
reflection, you doppelganger. You doppelganger. I see you dance along the hall, just like a stride, no one will take you home. I wonder just how you get by without me. Oh no, without me.
Now, there's actually an appearance of a second set of hands in that video for Doppelganger. Now, who is that?
That's my sister.
Now, I know Hannah, your sister.
Yeah.
And have you got a couple of pics of her?
Sure.
She's kind of an up-and-comer.
This is her, these are her modeling pictures. Okay. If you can see that. That was for something she did in Denmark. She's does fashion modeling, and she's also in a band as well in Denmark.
Anyway, she looks like she's like coming along.
She is coming along.
Now this picture cover here, for your single, where can people get the single around Vancouver?
In Vancouver, I would say the place you can get it is Neptune Records on Main Street.
Okay, so if somebody wanted to go and pick up this, Immaculate Deception and Doppelganger, they could pick it up at Neptune Records on Main Street.
Yes.
Between 19th and 20th. Now this picture cover, I mean, nobody looks this good. Nobody looks this beautiful. Not even you.
Oh yeah. That's
anyway, did you? How did that picture come about? It's almost like too beautiful for words.
Well, how it came about was that I keep thinking it's going to fall over. Was that the label sent me a few emails saying, "Can you please send the graphics? We want to send it off to the press to be pressed like right away." And I said, "Yes, I will get it next week," because we were doing some pictures with my sister and something happened with my hard drive, and so I started to panic and I said, "Okay, I'll get it to you in the next few days." So the next day I just said, "Okay, I'm gonna make this album cover. I don't know what I'm gonna do." So I just took my camera and again just shot some photos of me against the white wall, like the video, like everything else. And I said, out of one of those photos, there's bound to be something I can use. So I just found the best photo, I thought, of all the pictures.
And then you kind of doctored it.
And then I just kind of experimented and, put it together as I was going. And as I was doing, I was like, oh yeah, that's a good idea, and I'll make it like this. And so it was all done in like 2 days, or like one day with the photo and design layout, and then the next day detailing. And
yeah. Anyway, it's really, really well done. You're an emerging artist, an exciting artist. You're from Vancouver, and it looks like your focus is going to be going European. It's going to be going international, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Okay, Sally, thank you very much for being here.
Yes, it is a pleasure.
My name is Michael Willmore. This show has been Rockinitis.
Rockinitis.